How do you create a mix in Betmix? We get that question a lot. Obviously, it's a very important thing. We get it from new users as well as people that have been around a while that have questions on the best way to do it, or they're concerned that maybe they're not doing it the right way, or is there an easier way to do it. So in this video, I want to show you how we do it, how I do it. It's not the only way, but it's a pretty simple method, and I think it should help everybody get started. First thing to think about with a mix is that you're going to have your best results when you create a mix for a specific race type. And a race type is same track, same distance, same surface, same class. So you can find those races a lot of different ways. You can look at, you can create a custom report, or you can click on any race that you're handicapping and find that information. So let's show you how you do that. So the first thing to do, or the thing that I would recommend that you do, is find a race type that's pretty common. So let's go to all races report, and when I say common, I mean let's start. You want to start off with a track that you're familiar with, that you play a lot, and a race type that's run frequently. So for most racetracks, that would be like a 6 furlong dirt claiming race. So let's go to Belmont on Sunday and just find here the second race is a 6 furlong dirt claiming race, and that's a race that you're going to encounter over and over again. And when you're starting out, you want to focus building your mixes on the most common race types, and then as you get more experienced and into this, you'll start creating mixes for uncommon race types, which may be a 1.5 mile on the turf stakes race. You're not going to run into those very frequently, but you want to have those mixes available when you do. So let's see. This was on Sunday. Race 2 was a 6 furlong dirt claiming race. So you can go back to that particular track. We'll bring it up in historical races. We'll say Sunday, Belmont Park, race 2, and we'll look at this race. We know that this is a 6 furlong dirt claiming race because we found that out, but you can also see that up here in the conditions, 6 furlongs, dirt claiming. What you want to do here is you want to go down to the race. Here we go. Race profile stats. Let's talk about those for a second. All these statistics you're seeing here, all these factors, are the same factors that you're seeing over here. What we've done here is we've ranked them by different. So the number 1 factor is the most important factor. That's best lifetime speed. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see the 45th ranked factor, which is the worst factor for this race type, is last late pace. Now, how do we come up with these rankings? Well, they're based on a few things. You see these columns here. You've got win, place, show, accuracy, win ROI, place ROI, show ROI, etc. So what we've done is we've looked at all of these, all of the factors and how they rank within these categories, and we've come up with an overall rank. So when you're handicapping this race, you want to start focusing obviously on the most important factors. Now again, let's group these races. You could do that through creating them in a custom report, and the easiest way to find this group of races is by clicking the race profile report. This is going to bring up a window. I'll go ahead and click it right now. It's going to load all of the past races that were used to construct that table. So when we're talking about these statistics over here, they're all referencing 6 furlong dirt claiming races at Belmont Park. And we can see by looking at winning posts that there's 40 similar races, or winning payouts. It also tells us there's 40 similar races. You can click on the race tab. You can see each individual race that was used to compile those statistics. Again, if you click race profile report, you'll end up here on this window, and it's going to show you all 40 of those races from top to bottom, oldest to newest, or I'm sorry, newest to oldest. Well, actually in this case it's oldest and newest, but that really is irrelevant. So what we're looking at here is over on the right side, you have this results box. It's showing you each one of those races and who won it. Now as you start adding in factors, you'll notice that this box right here is going to change. That's showing you the results of the factors that you turned on and weighted. So your win percentage, place percentage, show percentage, exactas and trifectas, all of those are going to change as you start adding in new factors. Alright, so let's create the mix. I have, as you can see, or maybe you can't, let me zoom up here a little bit. I have two windows open. I've got my original window over here, that's the race I'm handicapping, the Belmont 6 furlong dirt race, and then the other window contains the actual race profile report. So I like to go back and forth between these. I'm going to go back over here, click on the Factors tab, and I'm going to start by looking at the most important factor. And again, the most important factor is the one at the top. The top 10 factors are right here. So we know that the top factor, the most important factor, is best lifetime speed. When I come over here, back to this race profile report, that's the first factor I'm going to use. So I find that on the list, and it's right at the top in the speed, best lifetime speed number. So what I want to do is I want to turn that one to a number. I usually start off by giving it a value of 40. You can use the slider, or you can actually just go and type in the box. So I'm just going to type 40 into that box. And as you can see, by changing that to 40, all of these percentages over here have changed. So when I put it back down to 0, you can see that I have just by default 10%. And by default, let's talk about that real quick. You can see all these numbers. Top horse is 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. So what's happening here is it's by default looking at the top ranked horse, which is usually in post position order. So race 1 here, number 1, is Colonel Juanita. That's number 1 here. That's number 1 here. Number 1 here is Prove It All Night. That's the one over there. And so this mix is just it's scoring this based on the default ranking of the horses, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever post position order they were in. Now, as I come down here and I change and I add a factor, best lifetime speed, again we'll set that at 40. You can see that these horses' rankings have obviously changed. So when I look at this first race over here, ranked by best lifetime speed, because that's the only factor we have turned on, it's the 5 that's on top. And it's the 5 that's on top in this particular corresponding race over here. So as you go down, you can see that the overall percentages have improved greatly. That's the best factor for this race type. So just using that factor alone, you would have had 43% winners, 73% place, and 73% show. It's not bad at all, but you can probably do better. So we've added in the first factor, which is best lifetime speed, and we're going to go back and now we're going to look at the second factor. The second rank factor is last race class. How much of that should you add? Well, this is how you figure that out. You want to keep your eye on these percentages up here, and as you add factors in and increase their weight, you're going to determine if this is improving your mix or hurting your mix. So with our first factor turned on, best lifetime speed set at 40, we have 43% winners. Again, going back over here, we know that the second rank factor is last race class. So let's come back over here and add that factor in. Here's the factor right here, last race class. Now we're going to keep our eye on the win percentage because we're creating this mix to predict winners. If we were looking at another fact, if we wanted to create a mix for exactas or trifectas, we'd do the same process, but we'd keep our eye on one of these other percentages over here. So let's look at this 43%, keep your eye on that, and we're going to start adding in last race class. And by adding it in, I'm moving this slider from 0 to whatever. So I just, initially I'll start moving it and trying to note where the highest, let's see, it looks like at about 20. At 20, I was able to get it to 55%. So now I have two factors. I have this 40 best lifetime speed and last race class down here at 20. And I've moved the slider left to right, or from left to right, slightly increasing it while keeping my eye on this percentage up here, and now that's at 55. And this is the same process you'll go through for every factor. You really don't need to go beyond 10 or 15 because at that point you're adding in less predictive factors. So the third ranked factor is average last 3 race classes. Let's come back over here, and that's the factor right here. And it's this is what I would call a duplicate factor. It's the same thing. One of them's focused on just the last race, and the other one's focused on the last 3. So again, keep your eye on this 55, and as we start moving this, are we improving it or hurting it? So at 0, when we're not using this factor, right now it's at 0. This is at 55. As we start adding it in, we can see that the number changes, but it's getting worse. So this is not a factor that I want to add in for this particular mix. I've used the top 2 and I'm at 55%, but by adding in the third ranked one, I'm not helping my case at all. So now we'll go down to the fourth one, which was last purse. Again, we're keeping your eye on the 55, and we're starting to move the last purse. I can tell it's getting a lot worse as I add that in. So we're going to skip that one. Come back. Average lifetime earnings is the 5th one. Let's see if that helps or hurts. You can see this is getting lower as I add that in. So it's not a factor I want to use. Best speed fast track. Let's try that one. Come up here to best speed fast track. I'm sorry. It's getting a little bit worse. It's not dramatically worse, but it is worse than 55, so that's not what I want to use. Trainer current meet. That's the 7th ranked one. Let's come over here and try that. Trainer current meet. Getting worse. Now you'll notice that all of these things are changing as you're adding factors in. So sometimes you might find that the win percentage stays the same and the place and show percentage go up. So you might want to, you would certainly want to use that factor if that were the case, but in this case they're all 3 going down. So again, we're not going to use that factor. Average earnings today's track. That's the 8th ranked factor. It's getting down towards the cutoff limit for me. So average earnings today's track. All right, you see that? We were at 55. We're adding this very slightly, and at 2, we're at 63%. So that's a big improvement. That's an 8% improvement or 8% better than last time. It was 55. Now it's at 63. So now we have 3 factors in our mix. We have best lifetime speed, which was our top one. Last race class we added at 20, and now this one, average earnings at today's track, we have at 2. So now we have an overall win percentage of 63%. So if you look at all these past races, and the ones that are in green are where the top ranked horses has won the race, and a lesser shade of green, like in this case right here, the horse placed, and then this kind of greenish gray one shows you that the horse showed. Hit a lot of races there. We have 63% winners, and 83% of the top ranked horses showed. So that's not too bad at all. 63% is a great hit rate on 40 races. I don't know that we can get much better, but we'll continue to look at those factors. So we had average earnings today's track. We'll look at average. The next one is average of last 3 purses. And let's go back over here. See if we can improve this 63% number. Average last 3 purses. No, it does not improve it. So we'll skip that one. Next one is average earnings today's distance, which is up here. No, you can see that things are getting worse as I add that one in. And we'll go one more. This is a pace factor. Another way to kind of do this is I always like to include a pace factor if they're in the top 15. So I click on this pace tab, and it's now showing me the top pace factors. And the highest ranked pace factor you can see here is rank number 11. That's average of last 3 E2 pace. So if I go back to all factors, I can see it down here at number 11, average of last 3 E2 pace. So we'll go over here and we'll see if by adding in that we can improve anything. It didn't improve the win percentage, but I can see that adding just a little bit of it, the place percentage was at 80. So I'm going to leave that on. I'm just going to add a little bit of that. It's 1. It's not much, but it does improve. You got 63% winner, 83% place, 85% show. So that improves it a little bit. So once, you know, this is a very good result, 63%, 83, 85, even 48% on the trifectas. But you can go up here, you look at the profit. This says that, all right, if I would have bet every one of these 40 races exactly this way, how much money would I have made? So you can see here that 40 races, you would have made $42 win bets. That would have been $80. You would have had a return of $148.60. It would have been a profit of $68.60. Not bad at all. You would have cashed 25 of 40 races, 63%. It's profitable. You would have been profitable making win bets, place bets, and show bets. You would have lost $4.60 if you would have bet the exactas in those races. And these statistics are computed by using the top 3 horses in an exacta box, and for the trifecta it's the top 4 horses. So you would have lost money there. But again, we're just focusing in this example on getting this percentage as high as possible. I encourage you to create a mix for every bet type that you like to make. If you are betting exactas, you want to focus on this percentage, not this one. So you want this percentage to be as high as possible. Or if trifectas, you want this percentage to be as high as possible. And there's nothing wrong with creating multiple mixes for each race. I do that. A lot of people do that. When I'm looking at a race, I'll have a win mix, a show mix, exacta, and a trifecta mix. And I like to look at the mix, or like to look at the race using all of those mixes. So that way I can see a lot of things. I can see if the same horses coming up on top in the win, the show, the exacta, and the trifecta, I think that's a very strong indication that the race should be formful and that horse is going to do well. If I'm getting a different result for each one of those mixes, then I'm not as confident about the race, and that's going to tell me how I want to bet it, or if I want to bet it at all, I might just skip the race. So alright, we've got this. Let's say we're happy with the 63%, which is good. So we want to save this mix so we can use it again. So we'll save it. We'll call it Belmont 6 furlongs dirt claiming. And down here in the track, I'll select Belmont, the distance, 6 furlongs, surface, dirt, race type, claiming. And I'll make a note here, 63% winners. And I'll save that mix. Now, the reason you want to put in all this information is so when you're searching your mixes, you can easily find it. So I'm going to hit save. It's going to tell me that it was saved as Belmont 6 furlong dirt claiming. I'm going to click OK. Now let's see how this did. I can go back to, since this happened on Sunday, I can go to Mixmaker. I can pull up that race, which was July 5th, Belmont, race 2. That was the 6 furlong dirt claiming race. And it shows us the result of the race. We had some scratches here, so let's get rid of those horses. The 1 scratched, the 4 scratched, and the 6 scratched. And now we got to pick that mix that we just created. So you go to the My Mix, you click the box here. Now I can search. I know it was Belmont, so let's see what I have. When I search Belmont, here's that mix that we just created, and I'll click it. And it tells us that using those factors we just put in, which is recalling, the top ranked horse is number 8, Ruby's Rocket Man, and that one did win the race. So it, was 60. You know that you have a 63% mix, which if you look at it going forward, you have about a 63% chance of getting the race correct. And in this case, it worked. Now, to be honest with you, I probably would have not bet this race. I'm looking at this and I see that they're all very closely ranked here. You know, I don't see a big difference. 97 points and 95.4. The top 4 horses are only separated by 3 points. You've got 94 here and a 97 here. So you would have had the top 3, if you would have boxed them, you would have hit this exacta, and using the top 4, you would have hit the trifecta. The 2 that we had ranked second ended up finishing 5th, which is not great, but you know, this is the kind of race that I probably would have skipped. It's very closely ranked, and the problem I would have had with this horse was the 401-day layoff. I would have clicked this horse and I would have seen that hadn't raced since May of 2014. The workouts were okay, nothing great, actually on the kind of the poor side, to be honest with you. Last race was a maiden 50 that it won, and it was making its first start against in the claiming category. So this is a race I would have skipped. The mix had it right. You know, you can trust your mix. If you're a statistics guy, you know, you'd say, you know, the stats are the stats, and you would have bet this race. Or if you use some other handicapping principles, maybe you skip it. Personally, I would have skipped it, but I would have missed the winner. So it's one of those, you know, that's the judgment call there. And if you trust your mix and you're in it for the long term and you're a consistent bettor and you're betting the same amount on each race and you are focused on one track, one race type, this is a great mix for you. You're going to run into a lot of 6 furlong dirt claiming races at Belmont, and you're going to do quite well betting those. So that's how you create a mix. You know, it's pretty simple, and once you get the hang of it, when you click on the race profile report, it's instantly going to bring up all the similar races. All these you can see are 6 furlong dirt claiming, 6 furlong dirt claiming, 6 furlong dirt claiming. They're all at Belmont. And so we're kind of, you know, we're comparing apples to apples here, and we are creating our mix by looking at the factors from top to bottom, starting with the best one, and then adding in ones underneath it. Some things that you'll encounter, you'll find if you set your top one at 40, adding in your second one, it may be higher than 40. You may have your top rank factor at 40 and your second rank factor at 60. Just that combination would yield a higher percentage wins. That happens sometimes. Sometimes, you know, you do end up going down to the 15th rank factor, and that does make a difference. It's very rare that you have to go beyond that. If you're very meticulous in your mixes, you can go from top to bottom. You can test each particular factor. You can add in the top one and test all the way down to 45. And in very rare, but it does happen, you know, adding in the 38th ranked factor does increase your win percentage, or your place, or your show, or whatever you're looking at. Another thing that you might run into is, you know, you can find that your win percentage is not going to be profitable at all. You know, that some race types are not predictable, and you may find that you want to entirely avoid those races, and that's great information to have. You know, if you have a mix that you know, you've worked at, and you find that the best you can do is 30% and it's not profitable, then that would be a race type that you might that you would want to know that you shouldn't play. And so when you create those mixes, you can put the notes there. You know, 28% negative, $45 on the win. Do not play. So every race type is going to have an ideal mix for it, and you can find that. Now we're going to be working on some stuff that's going to help you out in creating those down the road. But at the time being, this is the way to create a mix. In my opinion, it's the easiest way, it's the fastest way, and it's very accurate. If you have any questions about any of this, creating mixes or Betmix in general, you can always email us, and we're happy to help you out. But this should get you going. And We hope you have fun doing it. It is kind of fun once you get started with it and get the hang of it. And it's also very profitable. If you put in the work, you're going to find the types of races that are predictable, and in the long run, you will earn money doing it that way. So best of luck, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.